Hi guys, welcome back to Past Middle School ELA. Tonight's topic is state test questions. So, a lot of these questions are obviously going to depend on what the passage says. If it's a story or an article, the questions are going to be different depending on the topic. However, I thought it was important for me to go through how the questions might look and what keywords you would want to focus on with each type of question. This is part one of a three-part video because there are so many common questions. You'll see that a lot of them are similar, but it does help to be exposed to all of them and know exactly what to do when you get them to be as successful as you can on the test. So let's get started. Our first section of questions is all about details, 6.1. So what details support your inferences? Take a look at this first question. The information presented by the author in lines blank through blank best supports the claim that. So I went ahead and filled this in with pretend lines just to show you how it would look as a real question. And essentially all you want to focus on is what do those lines say and what did those lines support or what did those lines show. And then of course you take a look at your choices and figure out which one those lines prove. So if you are going through your test, annotating and boxing out certain things, those are the two things you should box out. Next common question. Which lines best support the author ideas that? Very similar thing. I put a sample question. Which lines best support the idea that lightning is dangerous? All I would box out is support and whatever the idea is. Essentially, this is asking us for which choice best proves that idea. Next, which sentence best explains why? Extremely similar. So again, I'm just making sure that you guys are exposed to every type of common question on the state exam. I would box out explains and then the idea. Of course, this idea is going to be different on every single passage, but this sample is about lightning. So I would look for which detail explains why this. I would check all my choices and see which one best matches the topic that I boxed out. And last question sample from details 6.1, which detail from the story best suggests that, or which detail from the article best suggests that. So same idea, which detail proves, and then which detail proves the following idea. So you would go ahead, imagine you're annotating your test, box out the idea, just to help your, well, that was a bad box, but just to help your brain hyper focus on that idea, and then check through your choices. Figure out which ones are possible, which ones you can eliminate, etc., and then choose your best answer. All right. Next, moving on to central idea. Central idea, of course, you may remember from one of the previous videos, central idea is the main idea or the main thing that the author wants you to take away after reading their article or story. So a really common question, you might see this on every single test you take, is which detail would be most important to include in a summary of the article? So there's a few steps to this. First step, you have to think about the word summary, and I would box this out on my test, summary. When you write a summary, you imagine you're going home to your mom or dad or your guardian and telling them in very short terms what you read about that day. You want to only keep track of the important things and leave out all the tiny details. So you think about the most important parts: who, what, when, where, and why. The big picture of the story. In addition to using the who, what, when, where, and why, you could also use the title of the story to give you the main topic, and if there are any subheadings to give you the main idea of each section of the article. That will help you determine what are the biggest ideas that this author wanted to convey or show, and that will help you figure out what belongs in a summary. The last thing is BME, beginning, middle, end. If you are reading a story, creating a summary can be done through thinking about the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. Likewise, if you're reading an article, you need to get some major ideas from the beginning, middle, and end. So those are all ways that you can write your summary. So, last thing to say about this type of question is when in doubt, write your own summary and then compare it with the choices. Which one of the choices covers some of the major who, what, when, where, and why ideas from the passage, and which ones are not as important to be included? Those are some tips to handle the summary question. Next, which sentence best expresses a theme or central idea of the story? Of course, if you watch the other videos on theme and central idea, they are usually the topic plus what the author wants you to know about that. So if the passage is about lightning and the author wants you to know that lightning is dangerous, then that might be the main idea. If it's a story, a topic is usually something like family, love, honesty, friendship, etc., and what the author wants you to know about that. So, some other clues include the title, subheadings, or main conflict, character changes, etc. These are all big things that will come across in either an article or a story. So when you see a question like this, which sentence best expresses a theme or central idea? Box out theme or central idea, and then think about your answer first before reading the choices. What did you take away? What did the author want you to learn? And then check your choices. Next, very similar question. How does paragraph blank develop a central idea of the article? Maybe paragraph 9, maybe paragraph 11, I don't know. Same exact process. However, the question is slightly different. So yes, you need to think about what is the theme or central idea based on the passage, but specifically look at that paragraph. So what topic comes up in that paragraph? What did you learn about that topic in that paragraph? There might be different themes or different central ideas in the whole article, but you need to look exactly at that paragraph. What is the main topic and what did you learn about it? So these are the things you should box out. Next, very similar, just different wording for the same question. Which important idea does the author develop in paragraphs blank through blank? 9 through 11, 7 through 10, 31 through 35. So again, you need to look for, I would box out important idea and follow your same formula, but especially go right to the paragraphs that are listed and think about what topic is there and what did the author want me to learn from those paragraphs only. When you box out important parts of the question, you avoid making silly mistakes and not answering what the question is actually asking you. So if you need to slow down, go through this video a little slower and take notes on what things you should really focus on, that would really help you because these questions are directly taken from the New York State exam. Our last question, extremely similar. How do lines blank through blank show a theme of the story? So one final type of question, still asking you to do the same thing. Go to the passage in those areas and then figure out the theme or central idea. What is this part of the story talking about? What did the author want me to learn? So hopefully this helped you by at least seeing all of these different types of questions. They're all really similar, and now you've pretty much seen every single one that will be on the state test for those two topics. Stay tuned for the 2 more parts of this video for other types of questions that you will see, and happy studying.